Hey everyone, it's VM Campos, Magic Fan. I've got another deck tech video for you. This is a Brawl deck tech that I hope you like. So there are a variety of types of Brawl decks actually, not just regular Brawl, but we have Friendly Brawl. This is a different kind of mode that is kind of hidden, because if you look when you create a new deck, you will see your various types of deck, and you know, we've got the Brawl, but then what if you go over here, Friendly Brawl? Now, I don't know why Wizards keeps thinking of new names for things, but that's basically Historic Brawl. And that's what this deck tech is all about. This is a Historic Brawl featuring Elenda, the Dusk Rose. So the commander is Elenda, the Dusk Rose. She's a 4 casting cost in Orzhov colors. 4 mana for a 1/1, this better be good. It is. She's got lifelink. Okay. Whenever another creature dies, put a 1/1 counter on Elenda. So any other creature, not just your own, but any creatures that die, Elenda gets a +1/+1. So you can really build her up pretty big. When Elenda dies, create X, 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is Elenda's power. So as Elenda gets bigger and bigger, and then she dies, and then you do put her into the graveyard zone, you'll get all of these vampires. Do not put her back into the command zone, then this effect won't work. So just keep that in mind. Okay, let's see what the deck's all about. We've got a bunch of 1 casting cost creatures: Duskborn Skymarcher Aspirant, Knight of the Ebon Legion, Vampire of the Dire Moon, Vicious Conquistador. So a lot of great 1-drops that do a lot of things, such as gaining you life, doing double damage, flyers, and then of course the Ebon Legion, which can get really big, +3/+3, and gets stronger the more damage is dealt. Over in the 2-drops, we've got Adanto Vanguard. He is amazing, especially in a Brawl deck where you've got 25 life. Paladin of Atonement, that gets bigger the more damage you get and then gives you life when it dies. Dusk Legion Zealot, I love this little guy. Bring him onto the field and you draw a card. In dual colors, we have the Cruel Celebrant, 1/2. You might pull that off when you need to do a final payment. Sacrifice your own creature, kill one of their creatures, and have the Cruel Celebrant celebrating cruelly. Legion Lieutenant, of course. That's an auto-include +1/+1 to all your vampires. In the 3-drop creatures, we've got the Forerunner of the Legion. Go tutor for any vampire that you'd like, and then every time you summon a vampire, you can pick a vampire to give +1/+1. Amazing. More amazinger is Mavren Fine. If you've got both the Forerunner and Mavren, you've got this amazing engine that whenever you attack with a vampire, a non-token vampire, Mavren makes a 1/1 vampire. So the Forerunner doesn't care that it is a token, and then it gives +1 to something. I've really used it to pump up some of the little creatures into big creatures. Great combo. Bloodthirsty Aerialist, a 2/3 with flying. Whenever you gain life, +1/+1. You've got plenty of ways to gain life. Because the Savage Gorger also loves that. 1/1 for 3 mana, flyer. Every time opponent loses life, it gets a +1. Sorin is a great way to enable some life gain. 3 casting cost, Planeswalker, 4 loyalty, +1. Target creature you control gains Death Touch and lifelink until end of turn. If it's a vampire, put a +1/+1 permanent counter on it. Excellent. So just imagine giving that directly to the Aerialist. It's going to feed itself. +1, you may sacrifice a vampire. When you do, Sorin deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. So you might have to sacrifice one of your littler vampires to deal with one of their creatures, plus you gain life. Again, maybe helping the Gorger. And -3, which you can do right away as soon as you summon this. You may put a vampire creature card from your hand into the battlefield. Perfect for your big vampires, so you can summon them a lot faster. Let's see what those big vampires are. How about a Bishop of Binding? 4 mana. When it enters the battlefield, exile a target creature an opponent controls until the bishop leaves, and whenever the bishop attacks, target vampire gets +X/+X, which is the power of the exile card. steal one of their big creatures, and give your creature +X, +6/+6. Oh, I just noticed this bishop is holding the symbol of Elenda herself. What about the Sanctum Seeker? Get this one out way faster with Sorin. When a vampire you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So you could do some massive damage as all your little vampires attack in unison. Twilight Prophet, it's a 2/4 with Ascend. It's also a flyer. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have the City's Blessing, reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. Each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is the card's converted mana cost. Amazing. We've got another Sorin in here. This is a 4 casting cost. 4 loyalty. As long as it's your turn, creatures and planeswalkers you control have lifelink. +2. Sorin deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker, and then -X. Return target creature card with CMC of X from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature is a vampire in addition to other things. So you can keep bringing back things from the graveyard, because in a Brawl deck, you only have 1 of each card. Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord, lets you return them. Vampire Sovereign, 3/4, opponent loses 3 life, you gain 3 life, plus she's a flyer. Excellent. Vona, Butcher of Magan, she's amazing. 4/4 for 5 mana, which you can cheat in faster with Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord, Vigilance, and Lifelink. So 4 damage, Lifelink. Tap, pay 7 life, destroy target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only on your turn. So 7 life is no big deal in a Brawl deck, and she's got lifelink to bring it back, and you'll be able to gain life in many other ways. And lastly, the biggest, baddest vampire here, I sort of think this is more like a vampire mutant. It doesn't really look like any of the vampires that are in the deck. 6 mana, which you can get in on turn 3 with a Sorin Imperious Bloodlord. You get a 3/3 flying lifelink. Whenever the Haunt attacks, defending player discards a card. So you mill them a little bit every time you attack. But what's this? Whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, put a 1/1 counter on the Hightower. So when they crack their Fabled Passage or Evolving Wilds, the Haunt gets a +1/+1, because again, I repeat, whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere. So as they're simply cracking their fetch lands, this is getting bigger and bigger. As they cycle cards out, as in discarding cards to draw more cards, this gets bigger. When they opt, this gets bigger. Amazing. I've got 2 artifacts that give +1s to your vampires. First is Vanquisher's Banner, 5 casting cost. You choose a creature type, which of course will be vampire. Then you give them all +1/+1. Whenever you cast a creature spell of that type, draw a card. So that'll be some card draw. Heraldic Banner, 3 mana. It's a mana rock. Gives you mana of any color, but also gives your creatures +1/+0 of the chosen color. So looking at other spells in the deck, we've got Disenchant, destroy target artifact or creature, good old Disenchant. We've got a Cast Down to destroy target non-legendary creature. Noxious Grasp to deal with any white or green creatures or planeswalkers, plus gains you life. Reeve's Soul, destroy target creature with power 3 or less. Final Payment, as I've said, destroy a creature or enchantment, either for 5 life or the cost of one of your own creatures. Revival plus Revenge. For double white or double black, return target creature card with CMC of 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Or better yet, Revenge. For 6 mana, double your life total, target opponent loses half their life, rounded up. We've got an Arcane Signet, of course, gives you mana of any color in your commander's colors. Invoke the Divine, another type of disenchant, but you gain 4 life. Murder, nothing beats that. Soul Salvage, this is one of the ways to bring Elenda back from the graveyard after she has been spent and created so many vampires. Mortify, turn your opponent's creatures into Morties, kill them, or an enchantment. As for the mana base, it's pretty simple. we've got 10 plains, 12 swamps, 1 castle Lochthwain, and 1 command tower. Command tower gives you a color of any of your commander, and castle Lochthwain. If you've got another swamp, it comes in untapped. Later on, you can pay 3 mana to draw a card and lose a little life. So that's the deck. We can see here that we've got a 2.9 average casting cost. Pretty good mana curve right there. The majority is in 2 and 3 drops. 20 creatures in total, 7 instants, 4 sorceries, 3 artifacts, 2 planeswalkers, 24 lands. This is our friendly Brawl deck. Don't forget to check the description for the full deck list. Let me know how yours worked out.